Kevin Spaulding, the spirit of adoption. The spirit of adoption. Kevin Spaulding.
We all know men can't get pregnant and go through the roller coaster experience of pregnancy, right? Well, now, I'm not quite so sure. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. After 5 years of marriage, my wife Ann and I decided to use adoption as the way to add to our family. But the saga that ensued was nothing like we first envisioned, but became a beautiful journey to learn that the spirit of adoption is acceptance, trust, and unconditional love. Follow me now as I offer a brief glimpse back across that beautiful path. My wife Ann and I chose to pursue international adoption from Eastern Europe, and that we wanted a basically healthy infant of similar ethnic background to ourselves. After endless hours of filling out forms, being interviewed by social workers, photographed, fingerprinted, medically evaluated, and dispersing substantial funds, we were considered paper-ready to adopt in November '95. Now all we needed was a child. Time passed so slowly till the day after Christmas. Got a phone call, was told they had a healthy 2-month-old boy in the former Soviet Republic of Georgia. Were we interested? Well, yes, absolutely. The information package we received contained only a single page that really said nothing of substance. And a single black and white photo, passport size, with an expression of, "You're gonna put that thing over there!" After a brief, prayerful consideration with Ann, I called the agency back and asked, "How soon can I travel?" I alone went to Georgia, and as I arrived in the capital city of Tbilisi, I was told, "I don't know when you were going to meet the child." But then the next evening I got a phone call and was told that I was to meet him that night. They'd be there in 30 minutes to pick me up. What? Oh my goodness! I'm not emotionally prepared for this. I need time to prepare myself. But there was no time. My mind was a blur. The maternity hospital was dark, cold, and would have made an American prison look good. As I entered the nursery, I was shown a precious bundle swallowed tightly against the cold ambient air. It was quickly stripped so that I could physically assess it. What was I looking for? He screamed relentlessly. As he was reswaddled and placed into my arms, he mellowed quickly. Seems healthy. 10 fingers, 10 toes. No, he won't look like our biological child. I wish Ann were here right now. I don't want to be doing this by myself. As I handed him back and turned to leave, my translator asked, "So, do you want him?" How cold that seemed. I needed to talk to my wife, but I knew it would be the next morning before I'd have a chance to call. I tried to sleep that night, but doing the emotional upheaval and the persistent jet lag, best I could do was vacillate between sleep and consciousness. About 2 a.m. I got up, picked up this devotional book I'd been reading. After a couple of paragraphs, the author quoted from the New Testament book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 15. "For you have not received a spirit of slavery to go back into fear, but you have received a spirit of adoption, with which we cry, Abba, Father." Wow. Your God had done so much for me, and now I'm halfway around the world to adopt a son. There's no question of God's acceptance of me. I need have no question of my acceptance of this child. In the morning when I talked to Ann, she fully concurred with my decision. As I emerged from the phone booth, my translator asked me, "Well?" I responded with an emotional but wholehearted yes. The spirit of adoption is acceptance, trust, and unconditional love. The name we chose for our son was Martin Thomas. And about a week and a half later, I got all of the adoption paperwork. and reviewing it was all very perfunctory, until we came to Martin's official summary medical record. Now you must understand that officially the government didn't want totally healthy children adopted internationally. But as I read a list of pathology described by a physician, I was terrified. Oh, I was promised it was all contrived just to facilitate his international adoption. But I was still scared. What if only some of this was true? What were we getting into? All I could do was pray. And I just had to continue to trust. The spirit of adoption is acceptance, trust, and unconditional love. I took custody of Martin and flew to Moscow to do the American immigration paperwork. Now, for you parents out there, or anyone else who's ever cared for an infant, do you remember that first time you had to change a fully loaded diaper? Well, for me, it was at the age of 41 on a plane from Tbilisi, Georgia to Moscow. I'll leave the rest to your imagination. Immigration visa in hand, we flew home. The hands waiting, loving arms. No, I didn't experience the physical stress of pregnancy. But I got my share of the emotional journey. This was one e-ticket emotional roller coaster. One that to a lesser degree I would repeat when we adopted our daughter, Julia, from Yekaterinburg, Russia in 1999. A different journey, to be sure, but to the same destination. To learn that the spirit of adoption is what? Acceptance, trust, and unconditional love. I now know that this is the road down which I needed to travel in order to come to accept, trust, and now unconditionally love these two beautiful children, Martin and Julia, whom God had chosen to be in our family. Since then, I've come to see other people and events in my life that I need to accept and trust in God's grace to see their beauty unfold. If I may be so bold to ask, friends, is there a Martin or a Julia already in your life awaiting your acceptance, trust, and unconditional